Today on DC News Now, a wind turbine blade breaks loose on I-70, crossing the median and blocking traffic, creating a major headache. We'll have the latest.
And time's running out for DC Council to vote on the $4 billion RFK Stadium deal. And with the looming deadline, there's still no vote on the calendar.
Storms off to the Midwest, firing up and moving in our direction. We'll talk about the timing of those storms coming up.
Then the Beaver has landed. It's the gas station that feels more like a destination. Bucky's officially opening its doors in Virginia. We have a look at the hype, the food, and why people are driving hours to visit.
Plus, she's a nurse who's been through it, and now she's making it her mission to help others in the profession push through toughest moments. We'll tell you about that mission in today's DMV Doer.
Watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon. Here's a live look over Reagan National today. Millions expected to travel this week, celebrating the 4th of July. And you can't see it, but if you go outside, you can feel how hot and humid it is out there. Thanks for joining us on DC News Now at 4. I'm Tosa Fakile.
And I'm Mark Hall. Happy hot Monday. It's another hot day in the DMV to start the work week.
Yeah, we're going to check in on our forecast.
Let's head over to meteorologist Scott Summer with a first look at our weather around the region. Scott, I was going to go out today and grab lunch. I turned around and just made a phone call.
He did.
Yeah, not a bad thought process on that, Mark. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be out for too long in this type of weather. But that heat has produced some thunderstorms across the area, most of them below severe limits. There's been one out towards West Virginia that lasted about 20 minutes, but now that's weakened. And that's Estelle right there over towards the Hedgesville area, Martinsburg region. That will continue to move to the north and into Pennsylvania. Now, besides this one lone cell here in West Virginia, we've got a couple of smaller cells in northern Virginia, about Shenandoah Valley region, both east and west of I-81, which is the major highway right here, or interstate right there. But other than that, fairly quiet, so we'll widen out the view. You can see that. But within the last hour or so, the National Weather Service has dropped this here as a green. Counties are in green. The National Weather Service has issued a flood watch in effect. That will go to 11 o'clock this evening, expecting some of those storms off to the west, as noted by the motion of these storms, to eventually work their way into the area and could produce some locally heavy downpours upwards to 1 to 2 inches per hour. And so that is why we have a flood potential risk here across the Beltway and surrounding counties. Now, in addition to that, we have the fact that we have the severe risk there. It might be marginal, but a severe risk across the Beltway as well, and that's tonight. We'll talk about tomorrow because that's key with the DMV First Warn Day. That's coming up in the main weather.
All right, Scott, we'll talk to you soon. All right, take a look at your screen. A massive wind turbine blade blocking traffic along I-70. This is near Hagerstown for several hours during morning rush hour. And we know commuting in our area can be quite the challenge. But this morning, drivers in Western Maryland, they got quite the shock.
Oh, my goodness. It was quite the sight out there. We find DC News Now's Randy Bash just off of I-70 where it all happened.
And Randy, you have more on what happened. How are drivers reacting?
Yes, drivers here in and around the DMV, we are all no stranger to terrible traffic, but today's trouble on the roads was quite different. And drivers we talked to here in Washington County today, they say it was unlike anything they've ever run into before. Footage from nearby MDOT traffic cameras shows that wind turbine blade stretching across all 4 lanes of I-70 right in the middle of the busy morning commute. One driver we talked to said the massive turbine blade and the big backups were the talk of his trucking group chat this morning.
I didn't know what it was at first, but hearing from you guys, man, that's a big, that thing was huge when I saw it go by.
That blade sat lying across multiple lanes of traffic, causing backups for several hours Monday morning. MDOT State Highway Administration says crews were able to move it out of the way farther west and onto the shoulder of the road. SHA says a westbound tractor trailer carrying the blade hit the guardrail, sending it into the eastbound lanes when it was clipped by another tractor trailer. No drivers or passengers were injured. Stanley says he's never had to transport something quite so massive, but if he did...
So and sometimes you need to shut down parts of the roads and highways to move that thing. I don't know how something like that could happen.
Better news, though, for your evening commute in and around Washington County. I-70, all of those lanes have since reopened, and the blade has been cleared out of those travel lanes. In Hagerstown, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Randy, thank you. A new era for commuters across the DMV. Metro's Better Bus Network is officially in effect, and it's considered the largest redesign in WMATA's history. More than 500 underused or dangerous stops have been eliminated, and routes now have a new naming system with letters like C for Crosstown in D.C. or P for Prince George's County and A for Arlington and Alexandria. WMATA says the goal is to make travel faster and more reliable.
Elevating bus service in the county is key to ensuring that every single Prince Georgian has access to all of the beauty and opportunities here in our county.
People overwhelmingly want two things in a bus system: frequency and reliability. And this is going to allow us to have more buses in the frequent network, and therefore more opportunity for people to get bus service at a higher level of quality, not just at peak hours.
Well, if you need help navigating the new system, Metro staff will be stationed across the area all week.
Today, a group of protesters rallied outside NASA headquarters in D.C., demanding the Trump administration hold off on any big budget cuts to the space agency. They're concerned about the White House's 2026 budget plan, calling for cutting NASA's funding by nearly 25%. It would drop it from about $25 billion to as low as $18 billion. It includes a nearly 50% cut to science programs that could lead to significant job losses. Protesters say these cuts could hurt NASA's work on climate research and future space missions.
What will make me weep, will have tears streaming down my face for days and days, is the loss of my dream of working at NASA, which is something that I am surrounded by, because everybody around me is in love with where they work, doing exactly what they want to be.
Right now, Congress is reviewing the president's proposed budget, but there isn't a specific date when lawmakers could vote on it.
Developing now in Maryland, a Frederick police officer facing child pornography charges. Corporal James Dodson was arrested this morning by Pennsylvania State Police. Police Chief Jason Lando said in a video released today that the investigation started back in August 2024 when someone in the department reported that they call a potential criminal act by Dobson in Pennsylvania. Dodson is also facing 2 counts of solicitation of a minor and criminal use of a communication facility.
The conduct alleged against Mr. Dodson is despicable, inexcusable, and fundamentally contradicts the oath of every police officer in our.
Well, the chief says that Dodson's police powers have been suspended. The department asked the Montgomery County Police Department to complete an independent review of the investigation.
We have an update today. A judge says Kilma Abrego Garcia will stay in jail for now over concerns he could be deported if released while he awaits trial on human smuggling charges. His lawyers say the charges are preposterous and worry he'd be deported again if he's released.
Well, in the district, a deadline for D.C. Council to take its first vote on the RFK Stadium site deal is quickly approaching. That's July 15th.
Yeah, Mark, but right now there is no vote scheduled. Council continues to work through the terms and impacts of the $4 billion deal.
D.C. News Now's Marielle Carbone live at RFK Stadium. And Marielle, when can we expect Council to get this deal done?
Well, Mark and Tosin, I think it's fair to say that the vote will not happen by July 15th. And while the chairman won't speculate on a firm date for that vote, between the hearing schedule, summer recess, and more, we could be looking at potentially September at the earliest.
We are working well with the commanders and as diligently as possible to try to get to a point where the council can vote as quickly as possible.
But how quickly that is still up for debate.
If the vote were today, I think a majority of the council would not be at yes.
Monday, Chairman Phil Mendelson laying out a timeline of sorts for the deal as council prepares to go on summer recess July 15th and not return until after September 15th. When asked if he planned to recall the council to vote on the deal in August,
I see no appetite for that among members.
over the next few weeks, council is expected to receive 3 studies, an economic analysis, consultants report, and a tax abatement financial report. The latter expected the 3rd week of July.
We're not in a position until we get these reports to fully understand those issues. I expect that we will be spending the month of August working this stuff out.
Then 2 public hearings are set for July 29th and the 30th.
We expected them to have a public hearing.
Mayor Muriel Bowser still urging the council to act quicker.
Me and the team will work all day and all night. We'll sit down with them whenever, wherever. It's important, however, that the agreement stays on time.
In a statement, a spokesperson for the team telling DC News Now, the Washington Commanders are committed to working with the council around the clock to keep this project on schedule. Any substantive delays will jeopardize DC's ability to attract premier concerts, global talent, and marquee events. Now, as far as some of the changes council may want to make to this deal today, Mendelson pointed out the affordable housing component. He says right now, under the language, there's no specific timeline on when the commanders have to build that housing, where, how. So those are some of the questions we can expect them to negotiate in the coming weeks. Reporting live from RFK Stadium, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
All right, Marielle, we'll have to wait and see. Thank you for that report. Meanwhile, council is set to vote tomorrow on a rule change that could allow the group expel former council member Trayon White a second time. That is if he's reelected to his council Ward 8 seat. The rule change would allow council use the past investigation it did into White's action as evidence to expel him again. White was ousted following his indictment on a federal bribery charge. A special election for his seat is July 15th, and White will run again.
Well, DC News Now is your local election headquarters. Democrats in Northern Virginia named the nominee to replace late Congressman Jerry Connolly for the rest of his term. James Walkinshaw, Connolly's former chief of staff. Walkinshaw will face off against Republican nominee Stuart Whitson. Now, Walkinshaw spent 11 years in Connolly's congressional office. He received Congressman Connolly's endorsement after he announced that he would not seek another term after his cancer fight. Walkinshaw also serves on the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors. The other candidate who wants to fill Connolly's seat has never run for political office, but Stuart Whitson is not a stranger to federal government. He's an Army veteran and a former FBI agent. Both say their experience makes them qualified to finish the term.
I know how to run the office. I know how to operate on the floor of the House in a committee hearing and in a committee markup, how to get legislative language inserted into a moving legislative vehicle to make progress for our community. So I'm prepared to do the job.
I've been on the Hill fighting to advance conservative policy. So I've been in the trenches on Capitol Hill actually doing the job that I'm applying for now. And so there is no candidate in the race, Democrat or Republican, who has as much real-world experience as I do.
Well, voters will decide who will fill the remainder of Congressman Connolly's term on September 9th.
And we are staying in Virginia. The first ever Buckys store has finally opened in the Commonwealth. The store just off of I-81 in Harrisonburg is open for fill-ups, fudge, and Texas barbecue. It offers everything is bigger in Texas. Experience 2 people in Virginia. 2 stores will also open in Stafford and New Kent.